Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone and Rovi, and today we're going to talk about the TRAC's network.
TRAC network, dude.
Okay. There we go.
Remove the K from what you're expecting. There's no K in this track. TRAC. Why would they call it TRAC?
Yeah,
for one, you're only allowed 4 letters.
Oh,
in
for
your
an
ticker.
ordinal. Yeah.
For an ordinal ticker, so you got to remove the K. But still. So we've been talking BRC20s, right? We've already hit some like mega bangers with Oshi Finance. Ordi was like a monster.
We went from like 6 million to like 200 million.
We caught Ordi at like 70 cents. Yeah. And it got as high as like, I don't know, $30 or something like that.
Almost 30, yeah.
So monster. The market, I think we're experiencing like a pretty natural pullback.
Yes.
Like it was like a euphoric bubble.
Yeah, we're looking at 70% losses from its all-time high.
Correct. So a lot of the liquidity is exited in the market. A lot of the attention's exiting. But this is the time when everyone's kind of like, ghosting. You want to be looking for fundamentals.
Yes.
You want to be looking for where's the value hiding, because that's when you want to be buying these things, right?
Yeah.
So we've looked into things like Oshi and Orpo. Those are DeFi primitives. They're in construction. But one of the biggest core primitives that has been in discussion lately, like if you're paying attention to these Twitter spaces, everybody's like talking about the indexing dilemma.
Yeah.
Which for a minute, I didn't understand what that is. Maybe you could kind of like...
And it sounds boring. Like
super boring.
Why would anyone care about indexing?
Yeah, dude, lame.
Yeah.
I want to know about like when moon.
Yeah.
But no moon, right?
Without indexing.
Well, to be specific, decentralized indexing.
Yeah.
Because there is indexing happening, but it's being provisioned by Unisat, OKX, Gate.io, the big exchanges, right?
Yeah, they can basically turn off your ordinal and you can never find it, like on Unisat, for example.
Yeah, and I actually have personal experience with this. Like, like these aggregate sites, kind of like, ordspace.org or BRC20.io.
Yeah.
They're obviously tapping into the indexing of these platforms, right? Because one of them went down for like maintenance one day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all the information and data I was relying on just disappeared. And it looked like all my coins rugged me.
Yeah, yeah.
They all just weren't, it's like they didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. It's just the data, the information.
The data hosting provider went down because of maintenance updates, whatever it is.
That's what it is for now. Maybe one day they'll get attacked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So that's the discussion, right? Now the BRC20, as marvelous as it is, we have points of attack.
Yeah.
Because we're relying too much on centralized operators.
Who would attack such a prosperous and valuable...
Yeah, who would? Imagine the fucking maxis, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Dude, that's scary. So they have a vertical, right? They have
an attack vector.
Yeah. So that's a problem. It needs to be addressed. So that's what TRAC is trying to do.
So TRAC, decentralized meta protocol tracking for Bitcoin ordinals, enable BRC20 tracking, and more. Enjoy new kinds of dApps for Bitcoin, and it's coming soon. So this is a very early prototype of a decentralized index. And for example, we have, it says, please start from, anywhere above 7 million because they're still currently indexing, and then a full website is going to be coming soon. So this is early as possible. This is just essentially a website. They have a community. It's very small, 278 members.
Yeah, once you get in that Discord, though, like the community, as small as it is, it's incredibly active. In the dev, I think his name is Benny. Shout out Benny. Super active, answers all of the questions, laying out his vision in real time, like, trying to address issues. And then, you know how devs are, we've dev'd in our past. Whenever you're trying to solve an issue, you find like 10 more.
Yeah, 100%. And every single time.
That's how you know he's actually doing real dev. Because
it's almost the law of development.
Yeah, it's like, you just find these tertiary problems in order to solve your root problem. You got to solve all these others.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's how I know he's actually working on some shit, because he's bringing up all these new dilemmas that he's discovering.
Yeah, and TRAC is not his first project either.
Yeah.
So bottom here says TRAC is a rarity garden project. So you click on that, it takes you to what looks like an ordinals sort of marketplace.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a like a Magic Eden-esque, or maybe like an early day OpenSea variant. Yeah, it's cool, and it's productive and something of value, and people use this, right?
Yeah.
They've been using this since ordinal inscriptions began, so there's a track record here.
Yeah, and according to them, their tagline is the most powerful and cost-effective. Oh, this is a different one. So Rarity Garden is one.
Yeah.
He has another one called looksordinal.com, which is the most powerful and cost-effective way to inscribe ordinals.
So this is definitely a dev who's deeply ingrained.
He's been around the block.
Specifically for BRC20s. Well, no, not just ordinals.
Ordinals, yeah.
But now, the BRC20 system needs a lot of help. Right,
yeah.
From indexing.
So we're talking about a decentralized indexer. If you don't know what it is, let's talk about it.
So we've seen this before, right?
Yeah.
Not in the Bitcoin space. In the Ethereum side.
Yeah, for sure.
What is it, dude?
All right. So indexing, as boring as it sounds, is one of the most critical infrastructure pieces for crypto in general.
This is one of the more interesting things, right? Because I remember when we first started looking into the graph, you're like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is because if you wanted to collect the data from a blockchain database, basically a line of blocks,
okay,
you would literally have to download all the blocks, which could be hundreds of gigabytes.
Okay.
And then from that, you would need to mine the blocks for the data.
Okay.
And so that is the expectation that a developer would need to do in order to get data from the blocks.
Right.
Right. So obviously you can't tell developers to go run a full Bitcoin node so you can download all the data, and then from there you can mine all the information that you need.
Okay.
To create graphs and data and analytics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So instead of asking developers to do that, you need an indexer.
Mm-hmm.
And so what an indexer does is they do all that work.
So the active indexing is basically like collecting everything and packaging it neatly, like in a readable format, right?
Yes.
For a developer, they don't have to do all this extra stuff.
Yes.
It's just I want what I want. So for providing me this thing that I need in order for my app to function or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna source or query you. I'm gonna extract the information I need, and then you're in the graphs case, you're gonna be rewarded for that, right?
Graph tokens.
And the graph token.
So now the developer, instead of having to download all this information and use up 1,000 gigabytes just to mine data, instead they acquire the network's token. In the case of the graph, the graph token, and you would query what you need about a particular blockchain, right? Mana or whatever makes sense, right?
And this is like already being widely used, right?
Yes.
If you're building anything in Web3, you're already using the graph mostly.
Yeah. So
including ourselves.
That's why. That's how we discovered the graph. Is like we needed to query for information on the blockchain, and we're
like metaverse land, right?
Yeah, metaverse land,
stuff like that. Like who owns land?
Exactly.
Only the blockchain knows that.
Yes, exactly.
And we're over there like, who do we ask?
Yeah.
It was like hit up the foundation. It's like, dude, just go query that shit.
Yeah, go to the graph. And we're like, what is the graph? I was like, oh shit, this makes our lives easier. It's all there. We just got to query for it.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you actually look into the you dive deep into how it's even being facilitated. It's not like a centralized service. It's like a whole network of people,
of contributors,
of actors, participants. They're all doing different things.
Yeah.
And they're all aligned with the similar incentive, and there's punishments in there if you do things nefariously. It's a brilliant protocol, right?
It's a whole ecosystem.
Yeah. It's truly like one of the more marvelous of Web3 representations, right? Like what you could do by galvanizing a community, aligning incentives, and then there's a real value output. That to me is the killer product of blockchain Web3.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a service being provided.
The value of the output is much bigger than the work to put into it.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So it's sustainable, right? But this isn't a graph video. But in order to understand the potential value of TRAC, or I guess decentralized indexing on BRC20s or any other blockchain, you got to understand the graph first. So that's a good starting point.
Yeah, right? and just to get that's the one side of kind of the infrastructure of crypto is getting the data from the chain onto your dApp, right?
Yeah.
So it's one direction. But there's the other direction, and that's Chainlink, where you take data that's off-chain, like temperatures, prices of Bitcoin, whatever it is that's happening in the physical space.
Or like some game thing, right?
Games,
like some guy reached level 20.
Yeah, yeah.
But he wants, by him doing that, he needs to, his NFT is now going to evolve or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So the blockchain needs to understand that and receive that information and then alter that on-chain asset.
Correct. correct.
That's Chainlink.
So that's the function of Chainlink. But the way they do that is they use oracles, which is a decentralized set of group of people who provide the input of the off-chain data in a way where if the input all matches amongst the oracles, it is assumed that it's an accurate input. So like if you're querying for the price of the Lakers game, and most of the oracle providers give you the right number and one guy gives you the wrong number, that one guy gets penalized.
Slashed, right?
Yeah, slashed.
Because they have to put up like a little stake of their own, right?
Yeah.
So again.
So now off-chain data to on-chain. So that's the other side. So just to give you some perspective on like how everything works. So now we have TRAC.
Yeah, which we don't know if it's going to mirror exactly how these ecosystems like Chainlink or the graph works yet. But we know there's a token.
Yes.
It's out there, TRAC.
Yeah, 21 million.
Yeah, we know they're developing this indexing system, and there's even a demo here where you could just type in yourself, see if you could find the data to your own inscriptions.
And by the way, all the links will be in the description, but here is the inscription of TRAC. 21 million, a limit 1,000, and
this was done in
May 3rd, so a few days ago.
No, that was like 3 weeks ago, dude. We're already on May 24th.
Yeah. Exactly 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so 3 weeks ago, this thing went live, and we got roughly about 1,000 holders.
Yeah,
and that's around the range of where that's like an average holder base for the BRC20. You know, the only ones that are above that are like Ordi, Vamp, and a few others. Most of them have roughly 100,000 or 1,000 holders at the moment because we're just that damn early.
Yeah.
You know?
So now going back to the website, what was the dev saying not to do on this page?
Not to press or not to, I guess, query number one.
Number one?
Yeah.
All right, let's see why he's saying that. Oh.
There you go,
Dick
dude.
butt, dude.
I guess, so does that mean this is like the original inscription or what?
I don't know.
I don't know what this means either. I would assume so, because I think this is a demo of what, I guess, right now he's the only single indexer using the TRAC, infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So this is like the thing. How can this like proliferate, and how is he going to attract new indexers? Right?
Yes. So that's why you need to come up with a tokenomics that incentivizes the attraction of new indexers, which it's a tall ask.
I know. This is like a monumental endeavor.
Yeah. There's a reason why, if you go look at the graph, that today it's worth $1 billion.
Yeah, today. Like, I mean, it's worth way more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. At its peak, it was $6 billion.
Yeah, it's just the graph, I think it's suffering a little bit from its like lack of, I don't know, maybe marketing. Like the market doesn't understand the importance of this infrastructure.
I would agree, yes.
Stuff like that. And because like Chainlink did a much better job, obviously the 4chan army, the Link Marines.
Yes.
There's like a real community like around, it's basically like you're saying, they're doing the same thing, but like in opposite directions. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what the deuce? Why is the graph not bigger? But still, this is $1 billion. And we're talking TRAC right now as broad and obscure and non-developed as it is. It's only roughly like a 1 to 2 million market cap.
Yeah.
So do with that information whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's just straight up entertainment information.
Yeah.
Nothing else, nothing less, dude.
Yeah. But you're right. It's so TRAC, we still don't know whether or not they're going down the path of like complete decentralization, like incentivization and networking.
But this is why this is an interesting project to keep your eyes on, right? Because this is our job. We have to find gems in the rough. There's already like 15,000 or something BRC20s.
Yeah, they're all memes.
Memes are just like junk.
Yeah, 99.99% are all memes.
But there's going to be some diamonds in there where someone's actually trying to make some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like, so this could be one of those because it's addressing a root infrastructure dilemma.
Yeah.
It's just this is an example of a project. It needs like some kind of like white paper, something.
Yeah.
Some sort of proof, like a plan in place.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that he has some projects already deployed and functioning and working. So
correct. Similar to Oshi. That's why you can kind of trust the team at Oshi a little bit because they've already, launched and deployed like 3 or 4 other protocols, projects, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's some proof that this isn't just like, empty words. These are real developers building stuff.
That's right.
Now, whether or not they can actually execute, because executing
that's
is a whole other ball game.
Yeah, completely different.
Especially something of this magnitude.
Yeah, because you and I, we can identify what's needed in an ecosystem, like a TRAC, right?
Yeah.
It's clear that it's needed. We've seen counterparts like the graph exist, be important, worth than $1 billion.
Correct.
And we know that BRC20 needs something like what the graph has.
Yeah, we know that if they succeed at doing it, and developers will adopt it because developers need it.
Yeah. But
That's
exactly.
not a question. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you and I were able to recognize a problem, you and I don't have an ability to execute it because we're not developers.
Right. And we don't have like $100 million to hire like a shit ton of more developers to, again, execute and refine and mature this whole ecosystem. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the graph, by the way, is like one of very well funded, backed by a lot of different strategic investors, and of course they probably did like some crowd sales, stuff like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I mean it's a tall ask for this solo dev. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's truly solo, if he's got like a few co-devs with him, but
yeah.
Dude, but still, you got to honor the or respect the attempt at least.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we think about this stuff, I always think I should have been a developer, dude.
You should have.
I would have been one of these guys like going ham on this stuff.
Yeah, you would be like, I'd be reviewing your project. Yeah. Be like, trust in Cypher, dude.
Yeah.
Cypher is pumping out the code.
Yeah, yeah.
But right now, trust in Benny. And if you want to communicate with him directly, I recommend getting into that Discord.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's go over I guess some of the metrics again. 21 million. So it's just like Bitcoin. I don't know if there's like some sort of like a mission unlock planned. I guess not. It's fully minted, right? So
yeah, it's fully minted, but I think you have to mint it in order to do stuff with it.
Correct.
Right. You can't just like program a mint based on an action.
That's right. There's no smart contract here.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. But there's one other announcement made by Unisat and OKX that they're not alone in this initiative, this race.
Yeah, OKX and Unisat to develop BRC20 protocol indexing standards.
Right. So these are like two of probably like the top 3 BRC20 platforms at the moment, right? So basically they're all joining forces. And you kind of like laid a pretty good parallel. This is like we're witnessing like the Coinbase and like the Krakens of the BRC20 space emerge, right? Like they all grow significantly. They attract tons of volume, and then they kind of like merge in one way or another.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It says here, this marks the initial stride towards decentralized indexing, enhancing the overall robustness of the ecosystem.
And just, I guess that was in Russian or something.
Yeah.
Right? Some language.
I don't even want to click on that.
Okay.
But yeah, ultimately, in my opinion, like I think it's a good idea to build a centralized version of an index.
Because it'll be more efficient right off the gate, right?
Yeah, you start figuring out exactly what everyone needs, what the devs need. I mean, indexing is a pretty understood function, right? So you could right off the bat go decentralized, but maybe you couldn't. Maybe it's more complex.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to take more time for the decentralized counter to this, because this is going to come out. It already does exist, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
Because it's the only option at the moment. So it's going to take a while for the decentralized ecosystem to, again, assimilate, form, and become like a reliable source of truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, this is how it's supposed to happen. We're supposed to have centralized versus decentralized, even in Web3.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we have Coinbase and Binance versus Uniswap and 1inch in like these decentralized ecosystems.
And they both provide different value.
Yeah.
Right? On Coinbase, you can get tokens that are not only on Ethereum with Uniswap.
True. Yeah, because they're basically just selling you like notes.
Yeah.
Promise notes. Like not
pretty
actually
much.
Like the real deal.
Yeah.
Hard assets.
I mean, you could argue you could get the hard assets out, right? But ultimately the point is they are connected to the networks of the different blockchains, and they're selling you tokens.
Yeah, and then there's cross-chain swapping protocols emerging. That's like a whole thing.
Yeah,
making liquidity and interoperable.
And then you gotta trust the smart contracts and the developers who made them.
True.
Bridges have been hacked left and right.
Yeah, so there's trade-offs on both sides. You want to deal with centralization and like big government one day stepping in and shutting off the switch,
or do you want to get
get robbed.
Yeah, robbed
by some freaking hacker across the planet.
Yeah.
So obviously this is a high risk space no matter what, but yeah, that's TRAC, dude. Like that's the potential of a TRAC.
Yeah, I like it. It's important, right?
Yeah, and this is what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Fundamental value, not like meme value. I mean, memes are cool. I get it. Nothing wrong with that, but that's
how it starts. But the real value is looking for solutions to problems.
Correct. So that's what we got here, dude.
All right.
Keep looking for more. You guys let us know in the comments as usual if you found something.
Yeah, that's been helpful. That's how we are able to track some of this stuff down is through the comments. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow us on Twitter @TheBlockRunner, @MetaZone.io, and @RoviAI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.